It's time to let the good times roll. KTBS 3 and KPXJ present the 2025 Crew of Centaur Parade. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel Louisiana and Shreveport Area McDonald's.
A live look at downtown Shreveport on this absolutely picture-perfect day. Here in the Arklatex, couldn't ask for better weather as we get ready to party hard.
We're going to let the good times roll all afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jan Elkins. Jonathan McCall and I have the great pleasure of being in the studio, but we also have folks out there on the line.
That's right. You know what? It was driving in today. The streets were closed. Everyone was so excited to find their places so they could see all the action, and we're happy to bring you the coverage of this year's Centaur Parade.
And you can actually see that the parade is headed our way, closer to where our cameras are, right there on Clyde Fant. And of course, it leads off with the Shreveport Fire Department Battalion Chief Car.
That's right, and you know what? Those firefighters, we can't thank them enough for everything that they do. We know that we've been covering stories this week alone with them for putting out a number of house fires as well. So we appreciate all of their efforts and then taking time to be part of this celebration as well.
And for the Shreveport Police as well, who are also standing by along the parade route. So Centaur actually is 33 years young, started in 1991, and you can see the Shreveport Fire Department there that we were just talking about, as people are literally outside waiting for beads to be thrown and cups to be thrown, and so they can say, "Throw me something, mister."
Hey, that's the best part of it. Those beads, walking away with as many as you can around your neck, the prizes, just the festivities and everything that comes along with it. You mentioned 33 years.
Right.
This all started with just 12 people, now grown to more than 700 here in Northwest Louisiana. Definitely a tradition for so many folks.
It really is, and that's why they call it a super crew, because it truly is one of the largest crews in the entire state and certainly in Northwest Louisiana. And it has been a joy to watch them grow through the years. Earlier today, you know, we showed Rick Rowe's package saying that a guy from New Orleans called and said, "Hey, do y'all want me to build your floats?" And the crew of Centaur said, "No thanks, we're going to build them ourselves," and they have.
We got this, and we definitely have. I think we've done a pretty good job putting on a pretty great party and parade after 33 years. I think we figured it out.
So thankful that the weather today is a little bit warmer than it was earlier in the week.
This is very true, and we're not dealing with any ice or snow or anything else that could dampen the parade and the fun that so many folks are enjoying and will enjoy this afternoon.
And look at that crowd, Jonathan.
It was like I said, when I was driving into the studio this afternoon, Shreveport Barksdale was closed, trying to get over the bridge into Shreveport from Bossier City. But you saw the families getting out of their cars with their kids, bringing their lawn chairs across the bridge, and just seeing the excitement and the joy on their faces. You know, as we mentioned, this really is a tradition for so many folks who have lived here for a number of years to be a part of this celebration.
Parents and grandparents taking their children and grandchildren, remembering when they went to their first Mardi Gras parade. So thankful it's not raining today, and just excited to get this party started.
That's right. We'll make sure to thank Patrick and Caroline for making sure that this did go off without a hitch.
We've got lots to tell you about as we continue to watch the upcoming parade. Again, there are so many people. I think 500 people are going to be riding in this parade today, and literally hundreds of thousands watching it either on our broadcast or there in person. So lots of people involved.
That's right. It is a labor of love, and we do have plenty of our KTBS 3 members out along the route, bringing you the sights, the sounds, talking to folks about what they're seeing and how they're feeling about all of that as well. We want to kick things off right now with KTBS 3's Rick Rowe. He is with us live along East Kings Highway, one of the most popular people in all of Shreveport, not just here at KTBS, all of Shreveport. Everybody wants to know where Rick Rowe is, and you know where Rick is, the party's going to be as well.
There you
Rick.
go. Hey, Rick.
Hey, the party doesn't get any bigger than this, guys. That's very kind of you, but my goodness, Kings Highway, This is amazing. Of course, this is the duck pond, folks. People have been gathering here for 30 plus years. I mean, these are this is sacred ground for these folks. They've been coming, in some cases, to the same lots year in and year out. It's amazing, and golly, what a beautiful day. And they like to eat. Let me show you a little something here. All right, we got some, looks like some, look at that. We got the cooker out. Can we walk this way? Show me. We're the news crew from KTBS, absolutely.
Okay. I'm from Alabama, and I came for the parade.
You're from Alabama. Why would you come all the way from Alabama?
I used to ride in the Centaur parade, and I used to drive in the Centaur parade.
Wow.
And now I just like to come and watch the Centaur parade. And I got my niece here from Colorado.
Wow.
And she has one of the original Centaur jackets on. From
Look at this. Back in the day. Came all the way from Colorado. My goodness. That's the power. 2000. My goodness, I'll do the math. It's 24, 25 years. That's incredible. That's the power, the draw of Mardi Gras is incredible. Thank you. Now here's the other draw. It's food and family and fellowship. We got a lot of that. Who do we have here? Y'all identify yourselves. Who are you guys? Tell me about you. Identify yourself.
I'm from Arkansas.
Did you come down for the parade?
I did.
See, amazing. That's amazing. They came from Colorado, Alabama. My gosh, where are you from?
Shreveport.
Right here. Well, say that with pride. How about that? So this is a family. Is that right?
My brother's house, yes. My brother's house. Yeah, it's for sale too.
Is this something y'all do every year, right around Mardi Gras, kind of gather up?
It seems like every year.
It's a tradition.
It's a tradition.
Okay. Show me some food. You were showing me, you were bragging about your ribs. Come on, man, your brisket. Let's see a little something. Here we go, real quick. Anyway, I know we're running out of time, but look, Kings Highway is the place to be, folks. If you like to eat and you want to cheer, and coming up in an hour or so, it'll be throw me something, mister. Throw me one of them ribs or sausages. Goodness gracious, or corn on the cob. We're going to bring some of that back. Yeah, look at that. We can try that out. Look here. Oh, my gosh.
Nice, Rick. Good form. Good
Even cold, that's good. That's yours, Jan. Coming home, baby. That is really good. Golly. Oh, yeah.
Granddaughter goes to school with our
Beautiful.
we got
That's beautiful.
we got some more around here.
Bringing that home. 312 East Kings Highway.
We don't believe you, Rick.
I was about to say, I don't think we should let him through the door without food.
Well, he may have to go find it someplace else because he's going to eat that right there. But we're going to go down to Madison Edwards. Speaking of family, you know, that's the family area on the Clyde Fant Parkway. Rick is where the food is, where the beads are going to be. Instead of throw me something, mister, it was eat something, mister. So Mardi Gras is all about the food.
You know what I was going to say, for the folks who are selling that house, that is the biggest draw.
Prime
You're right,
location.
yeah, prime location. Sell the Centaur right at the very end every year. This is where you can get the
Have
best
all
beer.
kinds of their friends and family that some of them they didn't even know before.
Hey, it's all
coming.
right. But you saw the draw of this parade.
That's
Folks
right.
who were in it, driven in it, were part of it years ago,
coming
back to be a
I
part
mean,
of it yet
multiple
again.
states, not just our home folks, not just Shreveport Bossier folks and the Arklatex, but people from Alabama, Arkansas, Colorado. I mean, please, we have a lot of good things going on here in the Arklatex.
Yeah, so once you get a taste of it, you gotta
Taste those ribs.
Those ribs. And the parade too. You
Yes,
gotta come on
yes.
back and get more of it in your system. But again, this is a live look along Clyde Fant Parkway as the parade continues to move down Clyde Fant Parkway. And again, you were talking about the families. This is the best part of
That's
it.
right.
Being able to see these families come together, the kids enjoying it as well. For many of them, their very first Mardi Gras parade as well.
That's right. Madison Edwards is right in the thick of it. Madison, take it away.
Hey there, Jan, Jonathan. If you look like right behind me, the parade is approaching Stoner Avenue. Clyde Fant is filled up right now with people all along the way. Just turn you around real quick. Jordan, take a look at the shot of people waiting for this parade right now. There have got to be thousands of people lined up on Clyde Fant, excited to yell, "Throw me something, mister," and get ready to have a great time letting these good times roll. We're going to be bringing you the sights and sounds, talking with people from around here. I've already talked with a few of them saying they're from Mississippi, from Texas, Arkansas, coming down to enjoy Mardi Gras in Northwest Louisiana. And again, just look at everybody dressed up in their best outfits, purple, green, gold. Everybody's waving, everybody's having a great time. The music is playing, the food is out here, and people are so very ready to let these good times roll. We're actually in a no-throw zone on top of this bridge, but we're gonna move back because I gotta get me some more specialty beads. I've got the King's Tony Prestige is right here, and also the Rose of the Riveter one. If you can snag one of these are going to be some high-value items this Mardi Gras. It's not just about the regular old beads, it's about these specialty beads. And if I can get a teddy bear, I will bring one back for everybody out there too. But make sure if you haven't gotten down yet, come on down to the parade and have a great time.
We're having a great time. Hello, come on.
Come on down. Don't gotta let me tell you about it. Everybody out here wants you guys to have a great time. I'm gonna send it back to y'all in the studio.
All right. Madison's definitely having a great time.
Says he's going to bring back a teddy bear. We'll wait to see
I
about
don't know.
that.
We'll see. Rick with the ribs and Madison with bears. We'll see how that goes. All right, stay with us. Our coverage of this year's Centaur Parade continues after the break. Welcome back to this year's Crew of Centaur Parade. I'm Jonathan McCall.
And I'm Jan Elkins. The parade is actually rolling through Shreveport as we speak. Let's take a live look there right now. As you can see, the parade is approaching some of our camera crews.
That's right. And our crews, I should say, are all over the place bringing you the sights and sounds. That is a live look at the Centaur trolley.
And these are the Sophisticats from Houma, Louisiana. They came all the way up to be able to show off their white tuxedos. They're known for that, as a matter of fact.
And they have some pretty good moves as
yes.
well. And there we're looking at members of the Shriners Children's Hospital participating as well.
And you know, the Shriners started, the very first Shriners Hospital was built right here in Shreveport, and so it has been special. You can hear the clown cars as they blow those horns.
That's right, they've been a part. They first started this, members of the El Caruba were instrumental in starting and building the very first Shriners Hospital for children here in Shreveport. Since then, Shriners has grown into a network of more than 22 hospitals across North America, so they do great work helping with so many young children.
They really do, and you know, they help those who are 18 years and younger with significant problems from literally all over the world.
Yeah, my son actually went to have a surgery at a Shriners Hospital in California years ago. And
so you appreciate
yeah,
them for
definitely.
sure.
They actually took great care of him and did incredible work in making sure that he got back to full strength.
That's great. And this is the captain's float. This year the captain is Ricky Bridges, and there have been, of course, different captains every year, but this is the captain's float, and the float lieutenant is Ed Moore. And
that parade, or that float, continuing to make its way down. Clyde Fant Parkway. Ricky has been a dedicated member of the crew of Centaur for 27 years, so nearly as long as the crew has been around. He's held the position of captain for 3 consecutive years, from 2019 to 2022. He was also re-elected to serve as captain for 2024 and this year as well. And Ricky sat on the board of directors for the past 16 years and worked as a float lieutenant for 10 years. He also reigned as King of Centaur 28 in 2009. And after retiring from a career in law enforcement, he just likes to hang out. He likes to fish and travel to fishing tournaments as well. We got a chance to actually talk with him yesterday.
That's right.
During our newscast at 6 o'clock, and he told us about the specialty beads that his granddaughter
actually created that, and so that's what they're throwing. He also wanted to thank his wife, Dana Bridges, because she has been a captain too, and his brother was also a captain, which was Corey Bridges. So now this is the King's float.
That's right. The crew of Centaur is happy to present Tony Prestige. King Tony is a Bossier native as well and a graduate of Bossier High School. And he's a member of the IBEW and is employed by Electric Supply Company. King Tony has served on the Centaur Board of Directors and represented the crew as Duke of Frolic back in 2019, and says he would like to extend his thanks to the Ranchuso float, his captain and royal court, and his beautiful wife Allison for being by his side all of these amazing years. Also riding in the float this year is the wife and consort Allison Prestige, Dallas and Victoria Miller, Jeremy Burge and Joseph Moore, Ronnie and Heather Post, Chase and Alice Lyles.
And the float lieutenant is Tina Tomasek, Queen Centaur 31. Her mother, Sophie Duke, was actually in the studio with us a little bit earlier as we talked about the history of Centaur.
That was a great conversation that we had as well.
Learned a lot.
Getting a chance to reflect and reminisce on just how great this tradition really has been, and just where it started and how it has evolved and grown into what it is today.
Here's what the King had to say about this great honor. This is actually the Queen's float, and this is representing a whole new effort. But there you can see her. Look at that wave. That's fabulous.
Yeah, and we want to actually listen to something that the Queen has to say right now. Yep.
Cindy Henry is actually the Queen for this year.
That's right. We actually got a chance to tag along with her earlier this week as well. She's a lifelong resident of Bossier City, and she works at Clinical Site as a lead in pharmaceuticals, and she joined the crew back in 2019 and has served on several committees. We got a chance to go with her earlier this week, our photojournalist Madeline DuPont. She got a chance to visit with some of the folks who may not be able to go to the parade themselves, so she had a chance to tag along with them.
And here's the Duke and Duchess float. It was established in 1993. The Duke and Duchesses represented icons in Toyland at this year's Grand Ball 33, because again, that is the theme: float, landmarks, and icons. Duke and Duchess of Food, as Jonathan mentioned, Jason and April Brandcamp, representing the Rubik's Cube and Legos.
The Duke and Duchess of Fun, Nico and Caleb Manshak, and representing Hot Wheels and Twister, the Duke and Duchess of Frolic, Matt and Bridget Melton, and representing Luigi and Princess Peach for Mario Brothers, the Duke and Duchess of Fantasy are Mark and Janet Tolosa.
And this is the Prince and Princesses float. Float lieutenant is Dana Ivins, and the Prince and Princesses float holds the future leaders of the mighty crew of Centaur.
That's right. Float Lieutenants Dana Ivins, as we mentioned, ensures to make sure that young royals have their best day ever. Our 2025 princes are Austin Carroll, Cooper Carroll, Alexander Ekman, Tristan Freeman, and John Davis Hardy and Ashton Kerr.
Our 2025 princesses are Lily Brosette, Lydia Enke, Bailey Meyer, Reagan Pepper, Abigail Ryan, and Lily Williams. And again, great for the princes and princesses as they enjoy history. And now we go to the Grand Marshal, Jonathan.
That's right. This year's Grand Marshal, none other than sports broadcasting legend and Shreveport native Tim Brando, whose journey started back in 1971 at the age of 14, calling high school football games alongside his dad. As we mentioned, he is a Shreveport native who has built an award-winning career in sports media, working for a number of companies, including ESPN, CBS Sports, and now Fox Sports. He's covered a number of games. He has a great voice.
Yes,
you know,
he
we love
does.
listening to him live.
And a great personality, and
Yeah.
he says what he loves, though, is the fact that he gets to call Shreveport home, and he was thrilled and very honored to get to be named the Grand Marshal. He said the only regret, some of his grandchildren couldn't ride with him because they're not old enough.
That's right. As we were saying, hopefully he's getting a copy of this right now, making sure that they DVR it and they can show it to the kids later on. It was actually, we learned that a high school classmate who was also a member of the crew who was actually able to get him as part of to be named as Grand Marshal for this year's festivities.
Right, now you're looking at the both Gras. This year is the fatted calf, affectionately known as Buffy.
The riders are dressed for their theme for Louisiana voodoo and vampires. The Buff Gras is all about tradition and is one of the most iconic Centaur floats and rolls right behind the captain, the queen, king, and the Grand Marshal floats as well.
And it kind of is the ultimate image of what Mardi Gras means to those who follow the Catholic faith, because that was part of the reason that this all started, and it dates all the way back to the Middle Ages.
Buff Gras, or as we mentioned, the fatted bull, is an ancient symbol of Carnival in France, where a live bull was paraded through the streets on Fat Tuesday, surrounded by butchers and bakers. It represents the last meat that was eaten before Lent, so a big wave, and hopefully that was able to, hopefully folks are able to get a little fat off the beads from Buff Gras as well. Again, it's great to just see so many folks out and about taking part in this festivity, and just seeing all the smiles and the faces, and just the excitement, for people as well.
Especially with the cold temperatures that we have, to have a beautiful day like this, people are ready for some fun.
You know, it's not as cold as it was earlier
That's
this
right.
week. I would thank Caroline yesterday on air for, at least getting us into the 50s, because we were below freezing for much of the week. So it's, even though it's 50, it's still a warm up compared to where we were.
And the
earlier
sun
this
is
week.
shining. It's not 50 and raining. So again, you're seeing people who are on the floats, who are throwing beads and cups and specialty items, as well as toys, out to the crews and to the people right there who are on Clyde Fant Parkway. And we're now going to talk about the Walk Like an Egyptian with us as we take the trip to visit the landmarks of Egypt. This float invites you to take a float down the Nile, and I can't really walk well like an Egyptian.
No,
Can you?
not at all.
I'm not
even
going to try it, but I bet Madison Edwards will. He's down there. We'll find out with him. Those great pyramids, and are there. You can see the Sphinx as he's coming down Clyde Fant Parkway, and the home float of Queen Centaur 33 is there with Cindy Henry.
All the riders dressed in costumes depicting ancient Egyptian attire. And of course, you gotta get those beads. We're actually told that there are hula hoops, stuffed animals, frisbees, and balls.
That's right.
On this one. So this is actually a really fun float as well.
It is fun, and we will have more fun when we come back and continue watching the Crew of Centaur Parade. This is the iconic Centaur trolley float, and it brings all the Mardi Gras fun to us. These float riders are between the ages of 14 and 18. They're also the children and grandchildren of the membership for the Crew of Centaur. This year they are throwing a trolley specialty bead, and the teens are actually wearing festive Mardi Gras attire. The riders on this Centaur trolley wish you a happy and safe Mardi Gras season.
That's right. Great to see those specialty beads and so many folks out there as well. Meanwhile, this float is the iconic Horseshoe, named, and it has been synonymous with legendary entertainment and luxury since 1951. One of those popular places in Bossier. Since 1951, from the moment you enter the lobby, you will see that they have placed luxury and comfort at the top of that list. Horseshoe has a full service spa and help folks unwind after, collecting those beads. Maybe you can go over there tonight, get some world-class entertainment, some great food as well over at the Horseshoe Casino.
And after talking about Horseshoe, it's only appropriate that we say Viva Las Vegas. The Bridges Landers float is headed to Vegas this year. Heading down this landmark is Elvis, a bridge heading to the Little White Chapel, where they're going to get married. They're going to see Wayne Newton, and Alan's back for another bachelor party, so many of us are going into the group for an unforgettable trip.
That's right. The tour guide and float lieutenant for this iconic trip is Kristen Landreth, and this is the home float to current captain Ricky Bridges as well.
And as we've mentioned before, there are so many previous captains who are riding, people like Daryl Foles and Brian Hammonds, and even a little bit later we'll see Brian Trust, who was captain just a couple of years ago. But Ricky keeps it all in the family, that's for sure, and he has been the consecutive captain for a couple of years. So we just say, all hail Captain Bridges.
As we have to say, the Viva Las Vegas float, you can never really go wrong with a trip to
Absolutely.
Las Vegas. So I imagine that float must be a lot of fun.
Some
as well.
great entertainment in Vegas, that's for sure.
Elvis, Wayne Newton, residencies. You have Usher, you got everyone up there. So definitely can't have a bad time in Vegas. And like I said, I'm sure that float is definitely probably one of the most popular ones as well.
We're continuing to watch as we see some of the entertainment with the guitars and people there throwing the beads, their outfits with Viva Las Vegas. Such a great float there. And coming up right behind them, we have Behold the Majesty of the Savannah with a host of African animals and safari. That'll be coming up in just a second or two. But you're going to be amazed at all of the decorations and all of the safari animals.
That's
do you
all right.
like that?
We can call them. We can call them that too, Jan.
I make fun of that word so many times that now I'm saying it for real. But this time the elephant stands 7.5 feet tall.
Wow.
That's pretty high and weighs a total of 25 pounds of glitter. Happen to be used. That's a lot of glitter.
Yeah. The one thing I always love about seeing these floats is just the creativity.
Isn't it amazing?
It really is amazing how they start with an idea, a simple idea, and they're able to expand it on that to make sure that it comes to life the way that it does. It has for 33 years now. As we mentioned, this is the Majesty of the Savannah float as well, with a host of animals and guides. Again, we were saying that one of the features of this, an elephant which is about 8 feet tall and weighs a total of 25 pounds. 25 pounds of glitter. That has to be a heavy-duty order to try to get all of that in.
I think that's an awful lot. The float lieutenant for this is April Brandcamp and interim Lieutenant Sarah Sanders. So we've got some past royalty and past Grand Marshal that are on this float, and so it's just special, Jonathan, to see not only the current riders, the current royalty, but how they embrace the past royalty, past captains, past king and queens.
This float's theme is European monuments, capturing many of the more famous ones, including their take on the Trevi Fountain in the front, with the Centaur as the centerpiece. The float lieutenant is Matthew Freeman's son, Tristan. He's also a prince this year. The Freeman float has been the home float for King Centaur 31 and 32, along with a number of dukes and duchesses and princes and princesses over the years.
That's right. So again, just a reminder that it is a family affair, and that European monuments float is pretty tall. I'm telling you, it's very well done. You know, Jonathan, what's so interesting? The first time I rode on one of these floats, many of them are double deckers and have at least one bathroom. Many have two.
Ooh.
So that's always nice because you've got a long ride to go. You're having some beverages, and so it's nice to have a bathroom close because you can't just
That's
get off
right.
the float.
I mean, you can't pull over on the side of the road during the during the parade to make that happen. Meanwhile, here is the Centaur themed float dubbed Landmarks and Icons. This is actually the theme for this year's parade. This float lieutenant is Kaylee Washington, and the themed float carries typically the youngest members of the Centaur yet. So. We'll get to that one in just a...
And we're still showing the European monuments. I couldn't see that very well either, Jonathan, so I apologize. But yes, we're just enjoying the pace that the Centaur parade is going. When it snowed several years ago, the pace was not this slow.
It was
They were speeding through at like 50 miles an hour, but great opportunities now with the theme Landmarks and Icons. And this is the kids float. Again, kids of the members and also grandchildren of members get to ride on this float, and they believe they're going to be the future.
Yeah, that's right. As we have learned from speaking with past members earlier today, that it really is a family affair. You bring along your kids, your grandkids, and help continue this tradition that has been going on for so long. Many of the riders here, just 10 to 14, so they really are getting a taste of what it really does mean for them to be a part of something so special.
And you think, which one of these kids are thinking, when I get older, I want to be the captain, or I want to be the king, or I want to be the queen? So it gets in your blood, and it's getting in the blood at a very young age. So we're excited about them to be able to participate at this young age and look forward to what they're going to do in the future.
Meanwhile, we want to take a look at the Mayan float. This float takes us to the temple. The temple of Kukulkan, the Mayans' feathered serpent deity, which is featured on the front of the float along with the Mayan calendar on the sides. You'll see some smoking volcanoes. We'll get to that in just a second. Some flowers and other decorations as well. Love seeing the colors as well.
Yes.
Bright and vibrant.
And the Indian chieftain headdress. I mean, it's just, it's just all, it's all miraculous how it does come together. Now, I know these last several weeks, they work on it all year long, but of course the float loading party yesterday and working on those finishing touches the last several weeks, I know they're all glad that that today is finally here.
Yeah. Again, this is, you can see some of those flowers and decorations designed by the riders. Again, we want to thank so many folks who put in the hard work, who volunteer the time to do this, to make this such a memorable event for so many folks here in Shreveport and in the Arklatex as well.
And this particular float was awarded the Captain's Choice Award. Every year the captain gets to make some presentations, and he chose this one to be a float. And wow, you can certainly see why.
Yeah, that sticks out. You're not going to miss that if you're going through. Now here is the Lost Atlantis float as well. This is the winner of the Best Float Award. The front of this float boasts Poseidon, the Greek god of the sea, who was hand-carved by an actual float rider. That's pretty cool as well. And like I said, you're not going to miss Poseidon.
So we've got lots of great artistic ability. The riders have spent many hours trying to make this as special as possible. It would be hard for us to choose the best of the best.
I think they're all great.
They are.
They are indeed. We want to continue our coverage here at the Crew of Centaur Parade. Again, it's just excited to see so many folks out and about. Our coverage will continue right after the break. Welcome back to live coverage of this year's Crew of Centaur Parade. I'm Jonathan McCall along with Jan Elkins. We are bringing you the live sights and sounds of this year's parade as it continues to roll through the streets of Shreveport.
It's time now to check out the Bankers Bandit float. The Origin Bank crew is eastbound and down and loaded up and trucking through the Mardi Gras streets of Shreveport. The float is a take on the 1974 Kenworth truck from Smokey and the Bandit. Riders are dressed in costume from some of their favorite characters from that particular movie.
I wasn't around in 1974,
Oh,
but
no,
I have seen,
Jonathan, you didn't.
but I've seen the movie though. Don't worry.
Well,
I know what you're talking
I can't
about.
forget
It still was a great
Sheriff
movie.
Buford.
Yeah.
Because he actually, the movie was made at the college I was attending, so he was there. Anyway, lots of great memories with that, and lots of good things that are going on.
Meanwhile, the next float rolling is the Ancient Legends. This float is based on ancient Greek mythology of the Parthenon. Leading the float down the street is a 7-foot-tall Pegasus. You can't definitely miss that one either. That is the mythological winged horse of Mount Olympus. The sides of the float depicting several silhouettes of various gods and goddesses between the columns of the Parthenon. Their names are written beside them with their American names written on scrolls beneath them to avoid any confusion. Indeed. Zeus, the king of the gods, is on the back house reigning over the float and its riders as well.
And the riders of this float are dressed as mythological gods and goddesses, as well as other mythological characters, Pegasus and Medusa, togas, and the dress of togas are the dress of the day. This close float family has tirelessly worked every week for months, and every part of this float was handmade by these creative and talented riders.
If we got the togas, you got to make sure you're protected underneath those togas as well.
And just in time to go grocery shopping. What is this, Jonathan?
Hey, that's right. This is the Brookshires and Super One Foods motorized cart, a 13-foot tall motorized shopping cart brought to you by Brookshires Brothers Grocery Store out of Tyler, Texas. Now get this. This comes with a 454 Chevy big block engine. So this would be real easy to just get up and down the aisles, zip, get your stuff, throw it in the cart, and get to the checkout.
Wouldn't you love to go to the Brookshires and just fill that cart up?
I really would.
I would love that.
I really would.
And the crew of Barkus and Meow float with literally the crew of Barkus and Meow folks is celebrating its 25th season with the theme of 25 years of magic. Now this organization spends the year raising funds and collecting donations for rescue and shelter pets around the Arklatex. Barkus focuses on the mission of teaching and fostering pet ownership. They hold free vaccine clinics throughout the year.
They're actually going to host their own event tomorrow over at Louisiana Downs in Motor City. I believe that fun kicks off tomorrow at 11. The parade gets underway at around 2 o'clock as well. Always a good time with the Barkus and Meow parade as well. Meanwhile, the float theme, exploring America's landmarks. Actually, no, this is still the Barkus and Meow again. They are going to host their own event tomorrow over at Louisiana Downs. They're going to have vendors, they're going to have a number of contests as well, and then they're going to have the parade. I believe that starts at around 2 o'clock. But you can't, no one can turn down a cute pet, a dog or
And they were all in our studio yesterday.
I
Well,
know.
not all of them,
Well,
at
not
least
all.
about 10.
Yeah. But it was still fun to have
it
them
was a
here.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
And this float theme, exploring America's landmarks, you can hit the road with this float and go with them as they are literally exploring America's landmarks. This float has been transformed into a vintage camper and is off to see the beautiful cities and national parks across this great nation. But you better guard your picnic baskets from the bear. The bear's coming up, and I think you better watch out for that skunk too, because that spray will not leave you happy. But
That's right.
Anyway, s'mores around the campfire would be a good idea.
That's right. Yogi and Boo Boo may be on the way looking for those picnic baskets. All the travel stickers on the sides were hand painted by the riders of the float themselves, and many hours of hard work went into the design as well. Meanwhile, this is the heart of Hollywood, this amazing thing for this float, showcasing the highlights of Hollywood from the famous Hollywood sign up in the Hollywood Hills. That also includes Tower Records, the Hollywood Wax Museum, the Chinese Grauman Theater. Jason and Margie Howard have been in the crew since 2015, and this is their second year as float lieutenants.
And they are joined by 34 other riders representing famous actors and actresses, and are all about the films and characters from the likes of Marilyn Monroe and Audrey Hepburn to Charlie Chaplin.
Past royalty from the Howard float includes Queen 25 Diane Eyelet, and there are also past dukes and duchesses, including Duke and Duchess of Frolic, Jason and Margie Howard, the 22 Duke and Duchess of Fun, Jeff Hillman, and Carlene Mudd.
Now this is going to be a biggie. We're going to celebrate Barbie as our icon, and the 11-inch doll is known for her beauty, her material goods, and unrealistic body. Get an amen for that. Barbie, along with her sometimes boyfriend Ken, has been the object of love and fun for many, many generations. And little girls have said, I must have that Barbie doll for Christmas. And look at the pink stiletto. I mean, that is huge. It makes a statement, doesn't it? It lets us know that this is truly Barbie's float.
That's right. You can only imagine the creativity and the imagination that went into this as well. The sides are decked in Barbie's favorite colors, of course, pink and blue, and adorned with sparkling fringe and her iconic symbols. The back house, a glimpse of Barbie's best life, starting with her home. Got to have that dream house.
And the Corvette.
And the Corvette, that's right.
Can't forget that.
That's right. The costume boxes Barbie can be purchased in are the costumes the float riders have on as well. So they definitely went all out with this one. The riders are all dressed up, living in a Barbie world for this particular parade.
And the float lieutenant for this is Janet Everidge. So we thank all of our lieutenants who have been making sure that some of these riders are having the time of their life.
Yeah, indeed. Definitely looks like a lot of fun on the Barbie float as well. If Barbie likes to party, you can rest assured that there's probably one taking place on that float as well.
And the Justinian float theme this year is 007 Casino Royale. Justinian 31 celebrated the greatest secret agent of all time. That would be James Bond. Were you born for that one, Jonathan?
I've seen enough of those.
Okay,
I know Sean
good.
Connery was in a number of them, yeah.
Well, that coronation honored the movie Goldfinger, and that was Sean Connery. And the Grand Ball honored the movie Casino Royale. Justinian 31 royalty captain Holland Machodo, King Stephen Fortson, Queen Amy Bokenfors, Duke Stephen Cox, Jonathan McCartney, Eric Whitehead, Duchesses Tori Creighton, Jill Sessions, Amanda Todd, and again, the float lieutenant for this one, Jimmy Franklin.
That's pretty cool to see the designs and how they were able to incorporate so many of those James Bond movies into that particular float as well. Again, you're watching live coverage of the Crew of Centaur Parade as it continues to make its way through the streets of Shreveport along Clyde Fan Parkway before it wraps up over at the Duck Pond on East Kings Highway. Again, it's been great to just see all of those faces, those people just coming out and enjoying all of the celebrations and getting those beads. Some people's necks are probably going to be really stiff from being able to carry all of those beads home with them tonight.
And the Man Shack float, themed to the moon, makes its grand appearance at the Crew of Centaur 2025 parade. This stunning float features an impressive array of planets set against against a meticulously hand-painted space-themed backdrop. A beautifully crafted moon rover adds the exquisite touch of artistry.
That's right, enhancing the overall celestial experience at the rear. The float showcases mission control boards complete with intricate details that evoke the excitement of space exploration and communication to other worlds. Displayed at the front is an astronaut that proudly bears the Centaur crest, symbolizing the spirit of adventure, travel, and unity. Together, these elements create a captivating tribute to the iconic wonders of the universe. So much we still have yet to learn about space. So it's great to see that our flight into space is being honored as well.
And the float, Lieutenant Kara Tate is the interim for this year, but proud of her. And the Centaur Captain 17, Susan Schaffner, is on this float. And we have some other Duke and Duchesses who are also riding on this float as well.
Meanwhile, start spreading the news.
It's this year it's the theme for the Schaumburg float. It's I love New York, New York, and we'll be singing momentarily, right, Jonathan?
Da, 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 da.
Start spreading the news.
That's right.
Our crew has arrived in New York City. You see their shirts have the big heart on it that says I love New York. We're first welcomed by Lady Liberty with our excited tourists showing off their matching foam hats. And we'll continue to see landmarks and icons from around the city as the float rolls through the Big Apple.
That's right. As always, the Schaumburgs want to thank past riders as well. But the float started as a cotton wagon, and it's one of the largest floats in the crew, standing about 2 stories high and holds up to about 43 riders. That's pretty interesting.
Impressive.
Yeah.
And the float lieutenant is Carmen Schaumburg, and past captain also on this float is Byron Trust. And now to the themed float, Land of the Rising Sun. You can see the sun right there, winner of the most thematic award 2025. This year, the sun float is decorated with pagodas, cherry blossoms, and scenes from a Japanese garden. 15 pounds of glitter, 100 cherry blossoms, and 40 fans were used to decorate the float.
That's right. The geishas and takamoshis riding on this float are throwing signature glasses this year, along with their specialty beads, hundreds of stuffed animals, hula hoops, and toys as well. You gotta love that rotating sun that was on the front
Absolutely.
of the float. That definitely is definitely creative and definitely stands out. I love that.
And the past royalty for this float, past captains included Wilda Smith, Captain 13, and Captain 14, Sophie Duke, Captain Queens, Wilda Smith again, Queen 10, Sophie Duke, Queen 11, Patty Rogers, Queen 28, and Tina Tomasek, Queen 31. King Jim Schmidt, King 15, Hal Rogers, King 30, Dukes Mike Davis, Jim Schmidt, David Sweeney, Trey Tomasek, Gransfa, Steve Durham, and several more are listed there as well, as the list just continues to go on.
Now here comes the winner of the 2025 Spirit Award. The Jester goes global. Our float is traveling the world with their own flight crew, piloted by one of Centaur's specialty floats, the Jester. Many Jester riders rode on this float for many years, and their very own king, Tony Prestige, this year's king of Centaur 33. There have also been several past kings and queens who have also been a part of this amazing float as well.
Yes, many of the past captains, 2 past kings, 4 past dukes, and again, just a reminder that royalty, once you're royalty, you do want to continue to be part of the process and ride in the subsequent parades, and so it's great to see that. But every crew has to have a gesture.
Yeah. Gotta have someone to keep the entertainment going.
That's right.
Gotta make them laugh, indeed. Meanwhile, the next theme for this float is Orlando Bound, home of the iconic Walt Disney World Resort. This costume reflects I won't say tacky tourists, but you know, everyone goes to Walt Disney World, and this is the only neon blacklight float in the crew, and tends to be very kid friendly as well. So look at all of those little, those younger faces, taking part in this float as well. This float design depicts sights from the Orlando area and the Disney theme park, and the corporate sponsor is Red River Chevrolet.
And the float lieutenant is Connie Whittington, and the Whittington float is also home to charter member Harvey Dillahunty, as well as past Duchesses Mary Denny and Duke Jerry Whittington. So again, keeping the family connection there.
This float is having a city slicking, high kicking time this year. This is taking us back in time, celebrating the Knights of Nightlife. The iconic Cowboys nightclub, the original king of the nightlife. The Cowboys was the original meeting place.
That's right.
For the crew of Centaur when it first started, with just those 12 members back in 1991. Aboard the float, 16 is Randy James, former captain, King Centaur, and original owner of Cowboys. He did remain active member charters of Centaur's path at Cowboys, where it all started. Centaur's first float was even constructed on the parking lot of Cowboys, and has a number of members on board, as well as a number of former employees, workers of Cowboys as well, because this is really an iconic Arklatex establishment. So
and
many
Randy
memories.
James is the one who told the gentleman in New Orleans, you don't need to come make our floats, we're going to do it ourselves. And they have. Past captains writing on this, Marty Johnson and Corky Bridges.
All right, grab your cowboy hats and boots. Take a short trip to, head west to the Texas state line.
Yes, absolutely.
That's right. Here we have the float deep in the heart of Texas.
And this is, when it arrives, we're going to be talking about, that's the Cowboys float from Randy James float and all of that. But when we get to deep in the heart of Texas, it's the winner of the Queen's Choice Award. And, all of these are judged. So everybody works so hard, and they try to make sure that theirs is the one that stands out. And so this particular one, deep in the heart of Texas, the float lieutenant is Sheila Piper, and corporate sponsors include us, KTBS 3 and Down Home Meats, and we're very proud to be part of it. Fort Worth Stockyards.
That's right. Great place to get a steak and also do some country line dancing as well.
That's right.
If you've never been to Fort Worth or to the Stockyards, definitely worth that trip down I-22 down there as well. All right, we do.
That's Nate right there.
Oh, that is Nate.
Yeah, Nate Fluharty.
There you go.
From our morning show. He was thrilled to be able to ride and throw some beads. Gabrielle is there
Gabrielle
as well.
Parrish is also on there as well.
I think that's why we call it the KTBS 3 float. Some of our own peeps are on there.
Yeah,
we're proud of those guys.
We got to figure out a way to get on that float next year, Joe.
Been there, done that.
Here's the old hat for you. You're just like, no, not anymore.
I'm just old. But Jonathan is younger than I am, and he looks forward to doing that. And looks like we've got a lot of everything from Texas that's coming through, and so that's going to be awesome.
That's right. Love seeing, one of the great things about our station is being so involved in the community.
Absolutely.
And we pride ourselves on that. So it's great to see us taking part in this event, not only broadcasting it, but having our talent as well as a part of it. Meanwhile, here's a look at the Mount Rushmore float. As the highways of South Dakota to visit one of the country's most iconic landmarks. There's a motorcycle on the front that will guide you along as you depict some of the beautiful scenery along the way. That's pretty cool.
And if you've never seen Mount Rushmore, put it on your bucket list because it is an amazing institute and natural beauty of our country. But corporate sponsors for this, Miracles Towing, float lieutenant is Dina Lafiska. And again, we thank her for the float theme of Mount Rushmore. And Jonathan, you get the last float, my man.
All right, and we travel back in time with this to the Rosie the Riveter float back to June 6, 1944, as we showcase the Greatest Generation, that attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941, bringing the United States into World War II. Not only were American soldiers killed, but women also making the ultimate sacrifice. And this float paying tribute to the iconic Rosie the Riveter by producing ammunition and war supplies. The throwing deck you see there, pictures of float family members who actually served in World War II. That's when some 16 million Americans swore to take the oath, call of duty, to protect our freedom here in the United States.
And that should be another bucket list for everybody.
Yeah.
Go see Pearl Harbor in
yeah.
Hawaii. It will certainly make you appreciate December 7th, 1941, and all the December 7th since because of our freedom. And so we appreciate that. We do want to say thank you for joining us because that is the last float. And there's a final car or two and truck. But it's been a pleasure to have you all with us tonight. And sir, I have appreciated being with you. And before we say goodnight, we're going to run out to Madison for one last thing. Madison?
Hey there, Jan. I mean, it is a great day to be a part of the Mardi Gras parade at Centaur. Just look at all these crowds of people out here yelling, "Throw me something, mister." We got look at all the necks, all of the beads around these people's necks as the New York City, my favorite city in the world, float comes on by. I mean, I've got beads, I've got a sword, a fedora. Little me would be so excited with the haul that I brought out. And they're still throwing them out here. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a great time. You guys having a great time out here?
Amazing time!
See the parade? It's still rolling. Clyde Fan has been packed with people, and it's just been incredible. We are just still expecting the rest of the parade floats, but every single one that comes by has been electric. The crowds, like I said, have just been absolutely screaming up to the top of their lungs to catch these throws. I've seen everything from footballs, hula hoops, giant Squishmallow plushies, rubber chickens, and of course my favorite is this sword right here. It's some incredible stuff. And if you just take a look, again, all of these people around here just having a great time. This is what Mardi Gras is all about. The people that I've been talking to, too, have been saying they're from Tyler, Cold Spring, Texas, Kansas City, Mississippi, but they're all here because of family. Family brought them here. Their cousins, their sons and daughters, their parents that live here, brought them back to our corner of the Arklatex to experience Mardi Gras. And it's been some incredible stuff. I'm going to toss it now back to Rick Rowe, I believe, who is over at the duck pond. Rick, how's it going out there?
It's fun. You know, one of the things I love about Mardi Gras is it is a family thing. That's the difference maybe in what happens in New Orleans and what happens in Shreveport is this. You see this? You see these beautiful babies? They need to be in the movies, and they are. Right now, we're getting them a television exposure. Right now, look at this gorgeous family. You gotta love it here with their babies. That's daddy there, and that's daddy there, and mom and kids. This is a beautiful thing. You gotta love it. They went to Captain Shreve. No JD, my son-in-law, who I love. All right, and then over here, you're indulging, and I'm gonna talk to you with your mouth full, okay? That's true. I'm not gonna do that to you. That's fantastic. But this is the first time for you guys to kind of camp out along the duck pond.
A little bit, yeah.
Why do it?
For fun. My husband, he's from New Orleans, so he loves the parades. We've never really gotten to come in years past. Just haven't really had the time to. So, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? This is beautiful. Look at this, folks. I mean, there are thousands of people, and they've been here all afternoon. It's a fantastic day. You cannot beat the weather and the spirit and the beautiful people. I mean, these guys are amazing. My goodness. Buddy, you married way up. Way to go, brother. You did good, man.
Thank you, man.
So did I. So did I. Look at this. All right. Oh, look at this. Oh, I love this. Is this little Lily? What is this one's name?
Isaac.
Isaac. Look at little Isaac. Look at this. His first Mardi Gras, I assume.
His first Mardi Gras.
How early is he?
He's 7 months.
7 months. Look at that. That is a joy. Now, I've got a 2-year-old that he could marry someday, my grandbaby. Just think about it, all right? You got to love it. But see here, they've been camping out, and in some cases, these families have been camping out in the same place along the Clyde Fat Parkway for 30 plus years. This one's even got a chandelier. How about that? Chandelier. You got to beat it. You got to love it. All right. We got a bunch of people here. We go. Hey, guy. All right. You guys look like you've been doing this a while. How long have you guys been doing this? How long have you guys been camping out during Mardi Gras? Julie. You can't answer your own questions?
Well, no, I was going to let you. We're visitors.
Tell me who you guys are, real quick.
I'm Bill Waits.
Bill. All right,
Yes.
Bill. And this is family, friends,
all friends.
strangers.
All friends.
You just became friends today, right?
Yes.
Because you all kind of hang out. That's beautiful. That's one of the great things about Mardi Gras. Look at it. If you don't have any friends, come down to Kings Highway, East Kings Highway, the Duck Pond, and you will make some. Coming back to y'all.
Great job, Rick and Madison. We appreciate all of our crew out there. And if any of you at home missed the parade, or if you just want to see it again, we're going to bring you the highlights tonight at 10 on KPXJ.
And as the Mardi Gras season continues to roll, don't forget that KTBS3 is your home for all things Mardi Gras.
And join us next Saturday for the Crew of Gemini Parade. You can watch our coverage from 5 until 7 on KTBS, KTBS.com, and KTBS Plus.
We'll wrap up this year's Mardi Gras season with live coverage of the Crew of Highland Parade with the Crew of Highland Parade. Thank you for spending time with us this Saturday. Don't forget, stay tuned for KTBS 3 News Weekend.
This has been KTBS 3 and KPXJ CW21's coverage of the Crew of Centaur Parade. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel Louisiana and Shreveport Area McDonald's. Thanks for watching and happy Mardi Gras.